the most confusing death in Breaking Bad is definitely Gonzo's. On the surface, it's something straight out of Looney Tunes, but if you pay close attention, there's so much more going on than you realize. When Tuco calms down enough to stop beating a dead horse, he orders Gonzo to get rid of No-Dose's body by hiding it in the scrapyard. While it's clear that Gonzo would rather not do this.
Tuco, we can't do him like that, man. Buzzards and rats and all that. I'm just saying, you know, it's not very Christian.
Sounds like arguing.
Wisely, he decides to listen to the maniac that just beat someone to death with his bare hands for trying to help him. He carries the body off and gently places it under a stack of cars, at least as gently as one can, with 200 pounds of dead weight. I'm sure that ominous wobbling isn't important and won't come back to be relevant later. Tuco shouts for him to hurry up so they can leave, so he reluctantly leaves the body, but not before blocking off the entrance of the car door. Wow, Gonzo really was a good friend, and I'm sure he'll get his karmic reward for taking care of his friend. The next time we see Gonzo, he's dead. Not only that, but he's the butt of Unprofessional Cop of the Year, Hank Schrader's jokes, who sends a pic to his brother-in-law just for shits and giggles. For Walt and Jesse, news of Gonzo's death might have caused some shits, but not much giggling, as they reasonably assume that this means that Tuco decided on getting rid of everyone who saw what he did to No-Dose, which would mean that they're next on the chopping block. What Hank lacks in professionalism, he makes up for in detective skills. He manages to piece it all together. He correctly deduces that Gonzo was attempting to move the body when the loose car from earlier crushed him. This is one of those moments that reminds me that despite all the memes of him looking goofy and his dumb jock demeanor,
Chick's got an ass like an onion. Makes me want to cry.
Hank is surprisingly intelligent and really good at his job. I mean, minus the whole missing the meth kingpin living right under his nose thing. Most people are confused by this on their first watch, as you have to infer that Gonzo left with Tuco that day at the scrapyard and came back later to give his friend a proper burial, as neither of these scenes are shown. All he wanted to do was give his friend a proper send-off, and his reward for that was having his hands crushed by a falling car and slowly bleeding out to death, alone in a scrapyard, with the knowledge that the same rats and buzzards that you try to protect your friend from will soon be nibbling on your toes.
Hey, someone call Jay Leno. You got the world's dumbest criminal. This guy wasn't murdered. Look, big stuff here was moving this guy's body when the stack must have shifted. Crushed his arm, pinned him here, and he bled out.
Poetic justice. Oh, I love it.
Don't you just?
If you put the tragedy and horror aside for a second, that is a hilariously ironic way to go. A cartoonish 1000 ways to die ass death. And to make matters even worse, Tuco assumes that he's off the grid because he ratted on him.
I trusted him like a brother! I was good to him, I was good! I see Gonzo, I'm gonna say, you never trust the people that you love!
So even his reputation is ruined. I know Tuco's ghost was watching this thinking, no, I didn't snitch. This is all one big misunderstanding. This repeats one of the key themes of the first few seasons. Life is cruel and nice guys finish last. Which I'm not sure I, or even the show by the very end, agree with. But what do you think? Do you view it as more of a cautionary tale of nice guys finishing last? Or do you view it as a tragic yet heartwarming story of friendship? R.I.P. Gonzo, a good friend till the very end, and probably the nicest henchman television has ever produced. His death had good foreshadowing, required viewers to actually engage their brain in order to piece together what happened, which I personally enjoy. But the fact that most people I've spoken to didn't understand what went on during their first viewing, it probably wasn't clear enough.